At the town's busiest corner, chaos roared, but no one cared, except Aisha, with her worn shoes and a bag patched with care. She spotted an old man, frozen at the curb, his cane shaking as cars zoomed by. People passed, some snickered, but Aisha didn't waver. She stepped up, gripped his arm, and guided him through blaring horns and screeching tires, steadying his faltering steps until they reached the other side. She thought that was the end, but the old man's eyes held a mystery, and that moment sparked something that would ripple through the whole town. Before we dive deeper, please hit that subscribe button. It means everything to us and keeps these powerful stories coming. Now, let's get started. Morning light brushed the small town like a faint golden glow, but it never touched the narrow streets where Aisha walked. Her backpack sagged, stitched with mismatched thread, her shoes biting at every stone. Still, she held her head high, breathing steady, counting steps like they mattered. The corner bakery spilled warm cinnamon air. She paused, inhaled deeply, and moved on. At the main crosswalk, traffic thundered, buses groaned, scooters darted, headlights flashed even in daylight. Aisha stopped, hugged her elbows, and felt the wind from a passing truck tug at her bag's loose zipper. That's when she saw him. An old man stood nearby, cane trembling, hat askew, breath shallow. His lips pressed tight, as if the road itself might bite. Aisha watched his foot inch forward, then retreat. He fussed with his sleeve, eyes darting at the rushing cars, blinking fast. No one stopped. A couple with iced coffees strolled by. A man snapped a photo of something behind her, blind to them both. A teen on a scooter laughed into his headset, leaving a trail of fuel and rubber. From the mailbox, two women murmured like the town's gossip line. "That's the girl who cleans after school," one whispered. "Always looks worn out," the other replied. "People like her should stick to their own troubles." Their eyes slid away when Aisha glanced over. She felt the backpack strap dig into her shoulder, rolled it once. She could walk on, work, homework, a leaky sink waited. But the old man's whitening knuckles, his stuttering breath, held her still. She stepped closer, palms open, pulse calming. The city's noise pressed her chest. Asphalt heat carried oil and stale rain. She aligned her shoes with the crosswalk's white lines, tested her balance, and waited for a gap in the traffic. Cars flashed by like silver fish. She breathed in, out, counted to 3. A horn blared, tires squealed. She raised her hand, small, steady, and the first car slowed, then the next. 1 breath, 2. She inched forward, checking his cane, his steps, the curb ahead. Her fingers hovered near his arm, close enough to catch, not to startle. He leaned, wavered, steadied. She shifted her weight, ready if he stumbled. A few boys muttered nearby, "What's she doing, playing hero?" "No one's watching." The other shrugged, eyes lingering. The light changed, engines growled. Time stretched thin. Aisha waited for the traffic's lull, then moved with him, gentle, unhurried, cutting through the noise. A bus mirror grazed her sleeve. She didn't flinch, just guided him, matching his steps to the painted lines. The far curb felt both distant and close. Sweat beaded at her hairline, fingers tingling. They reached the final stripe. She eased him onto solid pavement, checked his footing, and let the noise fade back to normal. Her shoulders relaxed slightly. She brushed dust from her skirt, adjusted her bag, and turned to go. The town kept moving behind her, but ahead, the day felt a little wider. The old man leaned harder on his cane, breath rasping, nodding like he'd outrun the road. Aisha lingered, twisting her bag strap. She didn't expect thanks. She'd just done what felt right. His voice, thin but warm, reached her. "You kept me steady," he said, tapping his cane. His eyes searched her face, chasing a name. She gave a quick smile, mumbled anyone would have done it, and stepped away, blending into the crowd. Not everyone saw it that way. From the bus stop, two teens smirked. "That's the patched shoes girl, acting like a savior," one scoffed. "She'll trip herself up soon," the other whispered. Their laughter mixed with engine hums, stinging her ears. Aisha's cheeks warmed, but she ignored them, fingers picking at her bag's frayed edge. She'd heard that tone her whole life, weighing her worth by what she lacked. But the old man's eyes cut through, thoughtful, not mocking. A truck belched smoke as it passed. Aisha blinked, nodded to him, and walked off, her steps firm but her heart racing. She wondered if she'd looked foolish, helping a stranger when her own roof leaked. Still, she couldn't shake the image of his trembling cane, his near slip. The old man stayed put, watching her fade down the street. A car door slammed, but his gaze held steady. His lips curved, not in amusement, but in recognition, as if he'd seen something the town missed. By the bakery, the same two women whispered, "Odd girl, always giving what she can't spare." One tapped the glass, eyes on the quiet street. But that's why she stands out. Aisha turned the corner, shoulders braced against the gossip. She tugged her sleeve, tightened her bag's knot, and let the town's noise close over her. Her kindness cost her nothing but unwanted eyes, yet her chest carried a quiet weight. Not shame, but something unnamed. She didn't see the old man straighten, glance her way, and walk off, his mind already turning. The week rolled on, school, work, evenings of homework and chores. Aisha kept her head down, locked in her routine. She didn't notice someone tracing her steps. One late afternoon, golden light spilling over streets smelling of grass and wood smoke, a knock rattled her family's thin door. Aisha froze, hands wet from dishwater. Visitors were rare. Her mother, aproned, cracked the door open. There stood the old man, no longer frail. His shoulders squared, boots firm, cane more habit than need. Behind him, a truck hummed, its bed stacked with crates marked with the town's biggest farm's name. Aisha's breath caught. That farm wasn't just land. It was the town's pulse, feeding markets, schools, restaurants. Her mother stammered a greeting, but the man's eyes found Aisha. They softened, nodding as if confirming a truth. "You didn't know me, did you?" he said, voice steady. She shook her head, clutching the wet rag, feeling small in her own home. He stepped inside, boots careful on the worn rug, eyes scanning the leaky ceiling, patched chairs, quiet struggle. He touched his hat. "That day you didn't weigh the cost. You just held steady." Her chest tightened, caught between pride and unease. Her mother's eyes darted, confused. The man set down a crate, apples, bread, honey jars, their scent filling the room. Her little brother ran in, eyes wide, but froze under the man's calm presence. The farmer leaned on his cane, not for support but emphasis. "This town knows me as the richest farmer. Land, barns, money. But wealth means nothing without people like you, who remember what matters." Aisha swallowed, the rag dripping on the floor. That small act, keeping him from falling, had opened a door she hadn't seen coming. The crate sat heavy, bread steam curling in the dim light. Her brother edged closer, too shy to touch. Her mother's hand pressed her lips, torn between thanks and disbelief. The farmer adjusted his stance, boots creaking. He glanced at the taped window, the curling wallpaper. "You gave me proof," he said, eyes on Aisha. "Proof kindness lives here." Her throat caught. She wanted to say it was nothing, but the words wouldn't come. He pulled an envelope from his coat, placing it on the table. A scholarship form, the farm's seal stamped bold. Her mother gasped, gripping a chair. "I'll cover your schooling," he said. "Not charity, an investment. You showed me what the world overlooks." Voices drifted from outside. The farmer's truck? At her house. One sneered. "Probably scraps for the beggar." Aisha tensed, but the farmer's jaw tightened too. "Ignore them," he said. "They count pennies and gossip. You're richer than they'll ever be." Her eyes burned, tears pushed back. Her mother wiped her face, whispering thanks too fast. The farmer nodded to her. "There's work at my farm, fair wages, meals to keep your kids full." Her brother grabbed an apple, biting with a crunch, juice on his chin. Laughter broke the quiet, rare and bright. Aisha stood, breath uneven, rag dripping. She couldn't speak, but a seed took root inside her. Her kindness wasn't wasted. It was seen. The room felt different, like a breeze after rain. Months passed, and Aisha's life shifted. Not a fairy tale, but steady, like a sprout breaking soil. She studied with books the farmer gave her. Her mother worked the fields, hands no longer raw from others' floors. The town whispered, then stared. Kids gawked as she rode in the farmer's truck. Just lucky, some scoffed. But luck didn't explain her grit, her kindness like armor. One evening, the school auditorium buzzed, chairs scraped, programs fluttered, chalk and perfume in the air. Aisha's name rang out for academic excellence. She stepped forward, braids neat, dress simple, new shoes clicking softly. Applause roared. Her mother clapped hardest, tears gleaming. The farmer sat tall, cane at his side, pride in his lined face. Aisha paused under the lights, breath caught. She wasn't the patched bag girl anymore. She wasn't unseen. She bowed her head, honoring the moment. That crosswalk choice, to see, to steady, had carried her beyond her dreams. The crowd cheered, but one truth echoed louder. A single act of compassion can shift a life, a town's way of seeing. If this story moved you, remember, a small kindness can rewrite a destiny. Don't go yet. Subscribe to catch more stories that change how you see the world. Share this with someone who needs this today. Your click could spark their change.